Hey there, I'm Ryan.
I'm Will.
And I'm Ivan.
And tonight, we review the end of Rise and Fall. This is the podcast where we watch reality TV, so you don't have to. Welcome to episode 9 of It's Just a Game. Hello and welcome to episode 9 of It's Just a Game, the podcast where we watch reality TV, so you don't have to. Every week I am joined by my two favourite faithfuls, or traitor, who knows. Wilf is here with us. Hello Wilf, how are you?
How am I? I'm good. I'm good.
You said how am I, as if I just asked you like an existential question. How am I? To be or not to be, that is the question.
How am I? God.
Who am I?
Who am I? Don't even know who I am anymore.
And well, the philosopher in the room, Ivan, he's also here with us. Hello, Ivan. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm planning a big walk. So I've got a book called Trekking the South. Now, I had to get the guy to write this all backwards because you can see... Trekking the South Downs Way. That's going to be me in about a week on a hill, walking around.
And on the marathon today, how was that?
I hope it went well. Yeah. By the time the podcast's out, I will have either tried to or successfully tried to run a marathon. And all I can say is thank you to everyone who turned out. What the hell were you doing to that guy who threw an egg at my face? I apologise to the woman who I had a wee next to at mile 22. And amazing.
Hey, I'm going to be stationed at mile 22, so I think I might be the woman you had a wee on.
Yeah, I mean, if you are going to wear a wig and such delightful makeup, you can only... It's just an assumption I had to make
It's
at the time.
an easy assumption.
And then obviously brilliant that I broke the world record. So yeah, a good day for everyone involved.
Right, can we talk about the walk? Do you want to hear the longest walk I ever did?
Yes, please.
Go on.
138 miles.
Okay, now do you want to hear the longest wank I've ever did? 138 miles.
I'm being deadly. Like, you've got a strong prostate, bro.
Will, where from and where to? Let's hear more about this.
Well, Peterborough to Liverpool.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
We was like, this is going to be so easy. And then, I was ringing my uncle who's a chiropodist or whatever it's called. And I was like, something's wrong with my feet.
I'm going to die.
It's because I wore too many pairs of socks.
How many pairs of socks do you wear? Sorry.
I was wearing big hiking boots, but I was wearing 2 or 3 pairs of socks.
Yeah, this isn't a Ryanair flight. You don't have to wear all your clothes at the same time to avoid paying fees.
But actually, because when you think you need lots of socks to fill the shoes, but if you wear 2, they rub against each other.
It's like condoms. You can't wear 2 condoms.
I got terrible, terrible blisters, and I've got flat feet.
Wait, after the 135-mile walk, I'm not surprised.
That was me walking.
Smoking on big cloud shoes. Pingu.
Are you doing it for charity, or are you just...
No, I mean, we just like to. We've done Hadrian's Wall before. We did the West Highland Way. This is just one of the famous British ways. It's not particularly old, this one, but it's all along chalk downlands.
And I think what's really nice as well is that you're doing it naked.
Yeah, no, that's been a recent decision of mine. Last 5 seconds or so. But yeah, sticking with it.
To be fair, there's a new game show on Channel 4, which is very funny, which is called Naked, Alone and Racing to Get Home. It's still in the concept. It's what the title says. You're naked, well, actually, you're not alone. And you are racing to get, well, not home, but so actually it's nothing like the title says.
I like a TV show where, after hearing the title, you feel like you've watched it.
Yeah.
I've seen the first episode now.
We had to walk on A roads because legally you have to walk A roads, right? So
yeah,
the thing what you walk on was so small.
The shoulder, yeah.
Yeah, and it was so scary. So we went to the farmer, who was on the other side, and we was like, look, can we walk across your fields? And he was like, yeah, walk down there, you'll see a horse field, just walk through it, get to the other side. But I didn't realise there was horses in the field.
What do you think, it was a field made of horses?
I don't know, I thought you might have put them away, but then we got there, and I had to get over this fence and walk through the field, and I was trying not to make contact with them, and then when I got really close to the end of the field, I turned around and looked at one, and he went... And then he started trotting in it. I was like, ah! So I ended up running away from a horse, man, because they're scary. They're massive. I didn't realise how big they were, even though I've seen them before.
And that's the lesson of this podcast. Horses are big.
Horses are big, and horses go which was like,
It's a good one, isn't it? Do you want to hear my elephant?
yeah.
Go on.
It's a good one,
It's
isn't it?
an elephant that's got diarrhea, yeah?
Yeah.
Ryan, what's your best animal impression?
Not entirely sure. I think it's an elephant too.
Just a generic animal.
A generic animal.
That's an animal.
A gorilla dog, or something. I don't know what that was.
It's a gorilla eating a dog, and the dog in the gorilla is still barking as it goes down.
Oh, Ivan, let's hear your impression then.
Oh yeah, go on, Ivan.
I can do a crying baby.
Oh, I don't like it, but go on.
Oh my god, that's really so good.
That is so good. Okay, now, if you're just joining us, you wouldn't know it, but this podcast is all about walks and sounds. No.
It's a slow podcast about travelling through nature.
This podcast is all about reality games. Every week, we're going to look at the smartest moves, the most silly moment, and the hottest tea on your favourite reality TV shows. Tonight, we conclude our review of Rise and Fall, Channel 4's hottest social experiment. It's by the makers of The Traitors, and tonight we look at the end of the series. As always, be warned, we are entering a spoiler zone. If you haven't seen all of the episodes of Rise and Fall, go away and you can come back when you're done. If you have seen it, stay here because we have opinions. And I'm going to get right into the thick of it. I'm going to ask you guys about the final and the winner. We now know Edmund won the series of Rise and Fall. How did you feel about that result? Let's start with you, Wilf.
So I think the final, I felt very sorry for Isaac. I think he had one part of greatness, which was his ability to make friends and to be a jolly guy and to make the experience fun for people, but he didn't necessarily get the gameplay part of it. So with him, like, I did agree with him not like going further due to that. Ramona got what she had coming to her. Like, they put I felt like she was a bit of a sacrificial lamb at some point. They put her there because the choice would be easier for them to choose her not to go or whatever happened. But the overall winner, they must know each other, innit? So they must spend time getting to know each other. They know about their personal experiences. They know that Sydney is a single mum and she's a delivery driver. And I'm not sure if Eddie probably didn't tell them about his fortune, his misfortune. He's not fortunate, really. Is
Yeah,
he?
Mr. Sorry, I'm not a cash rich. I'm asset rich. Yeah, I'm fuck all rich, man. Come on.
Do you know what I mean, bro? Like, but yeah, he was. I think if you were in that position where you have to vote for the people, for the winners, like, realistically, who would you vote for? I'd vote for Sydney. I know she didn't really contribute towards the game. I think she got through a lot of luck. I don't feel like she necessarily had played the game very well. He played the game very, very well and deserved to win because.
On the plus side, sorry, I'm hearing in my earpiece. I'm told Sydney just won the final of Love Island. On the other hand, well done to her and Jack.
Mate, you should probably get that checked out. Your earpiece.
My earpiece.
Your earpiece. Is that what you said? Your earpiece?
Yes.
Be careful. That's going to lead to infections very quickly, right?
So yeah, that's my conclusion of like the winner itself. And obviously we'll talk about the episodes and talk about some of the things that happened. But that's my overall opinion. I think Eddie played the game very well, deserved to win the game as such. But when you're in that position, if you're about to give somebody a large amount of money, you give it to somebody who's struggling more. That's just what I do. But yeah,
I just feel like, why would you? Okay, so Greg James did great. And it's not his fault. But they never really specified at the end why you're giving them the money. Like, what's the criterion? Or what are the criteria? Like, what are you supposed to be judging it on? So they decided in the end to judge it on the person who'd sort of like played the game the best or been the most nice or whatever it was. Was it the most deserving? If it was the most deserving, you'd give it to Sydney. So basically they were like, right, well, there's 5 of you and now you vote for 1 and then 4 and then 3 and now there's 2 and you just decide the winner between 3. It was so random. So he ended up with Eddie, right? And yeah, he was good quality all the way through. What I didn't realise is, I know he sounds like he's from royalty. He also comes from reality TV royalty. His brother Arthur was on Big Brother, but his whole family were the fucking Fulfloods, right? Or the fucking Fulfords, which I don't know if you guys watched it, but when I was a kid, there was this amazing reality show about this asset-rich, cash-poor family who had this alcoholic dad. He certainly seemed alcoholic, living in this massive, run-down house, and the kids were basically just feral. They were just like running around, like kicking stuff, and it was amazing. And it was so chaotic. It was like watching a sitcom. You couldn't believe it was real. Anyway. He was in it. He was the youngest son in that show, and now he's grown up and is Eddie. It's amazing.
Important question, Ivan. Now you've described the show on a scale of Channel 1 to Channel 4. Where would you rank it?
Really, Channel 4. It was so cool.
You guys say so much about how you played a brilliant game, and yeah, you played a brilliant game. But once I watched this, and once I watched the past week, I started realizing as soon as he rose to the penthouse, it's like Eddie turned into Edmund, and we got the much posher version, much more Tory Eddie. And all of a sudden, when we reconsidered everything that I've seen about him, it made me think, was the bread just him being nice, or was it
a
strategy from the first day, which is incredibly smart? Because he later went on to say, I hope they remember all the bread in the final. And I was like, oh, you bastard. You've been planning this game since the beginning.
Brilliant
You've been
gameplay,
born
though.
and bred and burged and lived in the reality tub.
Did he rise to the penthouse?
Oh God!
No, listen. If his entire strategy was make bread, it's brilliant. There's very little you can do down there to show that you're, there for the team. Doing well in the work shifts, they all try. Some of them do better than others, and he was quite brave in that. So yes, he was already in the top half for doing that. Then being well spoken and not starting fights, again, fine. But most of them did that. Making bread. Only he did it. So it's the simplest thing. It's so simple. It's almost hilarious, but it bloody worked.
It goes back to when we talked about the Traitors US, right? And we had people that are celebrities and people that are non-celebs, right? And we said that celebrities have some kind of an upper hand because they know how to perform on camera. They know how to be around in these situations. If he's been on reality TV before, even as a child, running around kicking shit, like he still knows the pressure and knows how to sort of just relax himself into it. Like I bet you, if we went into a reality show now, right, we'd be 10 times.
We'd play very different.
We'd play different because we've been there. But one of the things that I was so disappointed in most of the people that rose because they changed. Like, is there anybody that didn't change?
Isaac.
Like, is it Isaac?
So he went home.
Sophie didn't really change. She was only there for like 5 minutes, so...
Yeah.
I weren't bothered about that. I was hoping she didn't come back in the lift.
Sophie went up, she grabbed a glass of water, and she left. Just like Joas.
She went for a final line, and her final line was, one more thing, guys. Thanks. I couldn't work it out. I was like, I've done very little on TV, but the one thing I have done is deliver the final line. Imagine if I'd be like, Tom, this was your final flourish, and here's the prestige.
Good night.
Thanks.
No, but listen, the thing is, I was expecting something, and she goes, oh, and guys, and I was like, oh, here we go, it's going to be a bombshell, and it was, cheers. Thanks.
Yeah, it was like she's going to go in on them, and then she was like, right, guys, which way for the bathroom?
It was so funny, but talking about, the exits, because we finished the whole season, right? We can talk. Who had the best exit? Was there any iconic exits? I mean,
Jeff had a good one. I have to say.
James, yeah.
Jeff and James, yeah.
Connor, but it wasn't an exit. Yeah.
Connor never exits, bro. He was in the whole series, mate. Have you ever seen somebody who's done all 12 episodes? No, all 20 episodes, however many episodes
18.
it was.
In the lift.
He's done 18 episodes. Had no relevance to the whole game, really. He's just been Connor.
No, I disagree.
Not relevance. Relevance to the wrong thing. I think, he's not really been the strongest.
It's a bad take.
He's not been the strongest ruler or the strongest grafter, and he's sort of just...
Yeah, but he played a really important role in that. I think in the basement, he was really key to keeping people together, and making everyone laugh. Yeah. And in the rooftop, he did have. I mean, you guys know how I feel about Connor. I do actually really sympathise with him. So, Wilf, I disagree with you. Your take is refused. Goodbye.
No, I am so sorry. No, I didn't mean it like that. I just meant
too late for apologies, mate. It's done now. Sorry.
Because it's too late to apologise. It's too late. Now we've talked about the final and the way it went down between Edmund and Sydney. Let's take it back to a bit further back. I'm going to talk about this mission that really annoyed me. the mission when, well, not really mission, whatever you call it, the bullshit.
Work shift.
When they.
Bullshit.
No, it wasn't even a work shift. I don't know
It
what
wasn't even a
was.
work shift. It's just for some reason the producers were like, guys are a bit bored. We've got to fill 30 minutes of the episode.
And then they're like, what does Matt like to do? Matt likes giving feedback.
And well, he received it this time. They were like, yeah, Matt, let us give you a bit of feedback. And I was just so annoyed at this moment because honestly, it was so symbolic of reality. The rulers who are untouchable, who are shit, but do not receive feedback. Nobody's there to tell them they're shit at it. Get to give feedback to the people who are actually grafting, the people who are actually doing the work and actually bringing in the money, the grafters in the basement. And I found this patronising, I found this annoying, and most of all, what I hated was the way everyone was trying to push Matt into being rude and telling him, yeah, you should be more assertive. I hated that. Being a kind person is not a disadvantage in business. Kind people succeed in business, no matter what Ramona might tell you. And I honestly, I just hated everything with that mission.
You can have empathy and sympathy and still be a good ruler. We don't all have to be like, you're fired. You know what I mean? Build a house in 2 days. You know, but they wanted him to outly be rude to someone. They were like, if we write this, let's see if he'll be rude.
There was a surreal moment where they asked, hey, just stand in front of Rachel and not be rude to each other.
And then, but his feedback was so cute. He was like, it ended up just being this really, and he did it in a really nice way. And I was like, that's a good leader, right? Oh, mate, should we talk about plates? Should we talk about licking the plates clean?
This was disgusting. You know how much I would have vomited?
I didn't think, they weren't clever about it, right? Because I was thinking about it, mate.
How are you clever about it? It's all about licking and spitting. How much experience in that do you have?
Loads, mate. Absolutely loads. What's happened is they've designed it, they've tested it, they've gone, it was very static. They just kind of licked all the plates and it was over. And they went, okay, we're now going to, because we can't buy new stuff now, we spent all the budget on the one where they had to find the metronome. So we're going to have to impose some arbitrary rules, like you can only ever carry 3 plates at once.
I think it's really important that we now identify, our favourite task or mission in the whole thing. Can I go first? Because I really want to go first. It's the finding the metronome one. That would have been the best task, and it lasted for 2 minutes. I was so gutted. I was like, I really.
I was just thinking about the poor runners who probably had to break their back setting all of this up in that stupid basement, having to do trips up and down, carrying all this shit, and then it lasted it got 25 seconds of TV.
Yeah, did you guys watch the end of the credits on that episode with the metronome task? It said in memoriam Chris, who fell off a ladder.
Did it really?
Yeah, Chris. Yeah. This runner called Chris actually died. Yeah.
It's Chris the metronome guy. That's his full name.
Chris Metronome Guy. Yeah.
He didn't die though, no? Why
He
are
did.
you telling me that?
No, he did.
No, he never.
He almost died on Squid Game first, and then he
fell off an even bigger ladder.
I don't know if you lot are lying to me now. I feel really stupid.
Go back and watch it. Go back and watch the episode. Episode 7.
You can actually see the ladder where he fell off because you couldn't move the body.
You can actually see the blood on the ground.
Because they couldn't move the body because it was an open investigation, so they just had to do the challenge around him.
If they got to round 3, it was like, find Chris's body, £5,000.
And Matt has to revive him.
Feet back.
Ivor, what about you? Favourite work shift?
Well, after last week and the enlightenment that we got about what happened when the electric shocks hit the contestants, I think probably that one.
Yeah. I wish I was getting electrocuted too. So you're telling me I get to go on TV and have a free orgasm?
Free, I know. They're so expensive these days.
I know what he pay for them, yeah.
No, I've been going around licking batteries just to see if I can feel a little touch of that high.
Yeah. Ivan's like that with his laptop charger.
Doesn't feel right. No, I mean, I just anything where they were falling over. So probably I like the airline one because I just quite enjoyed them being like, it's in Austria, it's in Europe, and they're just running, throwing, falling over. I mean, this isn't.
That was a cool mission, actually. Cool work.
It was fun.
I actually quite like the sewage one. It would have been quite fun to do, but realistically, I'm more concerned about how did they make the poo so realistic. Is it Chris the runner who went and just had to shit in the tub for a week? Or
off a ladder.
He shot himself when he fell off a ladder, and they were like, "This is perfect." More of this, please, Chris.
What was I going to say? The last mission, yeah. I just wasn't. I thought it was like going to be a massive mission, you know, and all this. And it was just like
they were just like pick a brick.
I mean, I think just generally the show, it didn't have that wonderful acceleration towards the end that you expect from a show like this. Like, it didn't, I guess because they were all still there or something, it didn't feel rarefied or special. It just felt like the show carried on until it ended and then it was over.
That's the thing. Last week, like as in week 3, the episodes were brilliant. It was the twist every 12 minutes. It was some of the best reality TV I've ever seen. And this week, it just kind of fell flat. And the fact they brought everyone back as well, I'm just like kind of puzzled. Why did they do this? There was no need to bring everyone back because they didn't make them vote. They was just chilling in the basement. They was just there for the vibes.
I just think that it was so complicated. The format was so complicated that in the end, it didn't matter what happened. Someone told me a really important thing about story writing, okay? Now, this is amazing. If you're ever thinking about writing a story, right? If you're trying to retell the plot and you ever say and then, you're done. You must always say so or but. So, for example, Eddie made all the bread, so he got elected to go up into to rise. But what happened towards the end was and then. So we had
That's literally the format of the final.
Yeah, exactly. I just needed to see good play be rewarded, and it wasn't. It was just stuff. That's not enough for me.
The mechanism for the final, like it's like somebody met in the morning, like of that final, and they were like, "Right, guys, this is the final. What do we do?" And for some reason, why the fuck did it just go? Okay, guys, we're going to give all the power to the people who couldn't hack it and made it in the 5th place. We're going to let Ramona decide to just take someone down with her, and then we're going to let Ramona and Moses take someone down with them. That was unfair. That was like made no sense. It didn't fit with the concept of the game. I just hated that final.
I think the grafters should have had more of a say, of who wins. Because the rulers, I get it at board meetings, people turn on each other and they all vote for somebody to leave and all that. I do understand that, but at the same time, it's a reality show, man. It doesn't need to be actual concrete so much like real life. Do you know what I mean? It just was a bit of a
and it didn't match real life anyway. What's real life about just a loser picking the next loser?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. You're not learning anything. It's not a social experiment if you're just going for random stuff. Actually, I think in the end, the best way for the winner to be decided would have been by the grafters.
Or you could bring everyone in and call this a general election, and you're mimicking real life. All of a sudden, everyone gets to vote.
I actually would have liked to see the rulers nominate 2 of themselves and the grafters to vote on those 2. So in the end, you might have a similar situation, but you would have had that lovely round table about like vote for me, and then people being like, I'll vote for you, but will you vote for me? And like interesting kind of alliances there. Which the whole game was strong when it was about alliances.
It was a missed opportunity.
So yeah, but look, what I was thinking about is sometimes new shows take. We were quite lucky. We were really lucky that it just worked. But some shows take 2 seasons, 3 seasons to actually get to the point. Like Love Island, I don't watch it, but apparently its first season weren't great, and then
it was a bit slow.
It picked up and got really popular, and now it's sort of on. I think it might be on a decline. I don't know, but yeah, it could, hopefully next season, if they do a next season. They'll get it right. Like it wasn't wrong. There were some great moments, some really iconic moments.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They get it right, and there will be no glasses of water available in the basement next year for safety reasons. Channel 4 didn't sign off on water.
Everything's on an IV drip. They're all just plugged in, just like I'm hydrated and I'm angry.
In that case, look, I think we all share similar opinions about the final. So let's wrap this up. My first question is, in that case, give me a general score for this whole series. How did you find Rise and Fall Series 1? And what's your overall impression?
I'm going to say format could have been so good that some of the contestants were really, really interesting and entertaining. Overall, I'm going to give it a 6. 6 is a boring score because there was so much good, but unfortunately you had to dig through a lot of not good to get there.
Wilf.
I'm gonna say, can I say? I think a 7. I think a 7. The reason being, I think the format is great. I think the format's amazing. It's a 10 out of 10 format. I think the cast, most of them were great. I think that, I feel like it was edited way too quick. I think if they went off and sat on it for 5 months, I think that. Yeah, the 7 is because I think it has so much potential if they get it. It just needs to be crisp. But yeah, 7 for me.
What about you, Ryan?
I'm going to go 7.5 with words of encouragement. I think this could actually be an incredible show. I'll be honest, I think it's got actually potential to be better than The Traitors. And if you'd only had week 3 of Rise and Fall, it would have been better. But sadly, it fell a bit short on the first week. The first week was a bit slow to build up. And then last week as well, it died down a bit too early for like the show to be entertaining all the way to the final. And I found that final really disappointing. So there's clearly room for improvement, but with the right cast, the right timed twists, with like people in the cast like Wilfred, Ryan, and Ivan, you can have a truly brilliant show.
Yep, I agree with you. You said it. Yeah. I think that's exactly, you hit the nail on the head, isn't it? But yeah, it's good. I did enjoy it though.
I would watch Series 2 again in a heartbeat. In fact, I would apply to Series 2 in a heartbeat, and I think it will win. Like, it deserves 1 or 2 BAFTAs, maybe not 3, but like 1 or 2.
On that note, vote for us in the BAFTAs. Thank you.
Yeah, best moment.
The most memorable moment of the year, sponsored by a brand that I won't name because they haven't paid me. They've only paid the BAFTA company. So the Anonymous Boat Company Award for most memorable moment, you can vote for The Traitors in that final round table when Wilf gets called out by Kieran with that iconic line you may have heard of that goes, "Parting gift."
Yep, I think I might have heard of it. But do you know what? Can I just say something? I looked at the category and seen who we're against, and I've seen Stranger Things and Max going in the air on Stranger Things, and I was like, how are we going to compete with that?
Yeah, that's much harder. You're competing against the bloody Queen.
I know, and she died, bless her.
And not just her, because if it was just her, I wouldn't vote for her. And the Paddington Bear.
Oh,
Paddington gift.
Paddington.
Paddington gift.
Well, on that note, I think that concludes our review of Rise and Fall Series 1. See you all in the basement for Series 2, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah,
we'll all be applying, and none of us will get a call back because of this podcast. But at least we'll have applied.
Hang on.
Oh?
Coming in hot at exactly the right moment. It's time for my new recurring segment.
Oh, I haven't heard of recurring segment.
Hasn't been one in a while.
Yeah, well, I've been saving it up, haven't I?
It's a new recurring segment. Ding.
Ding. Yeah, so here it is. Without any planning, I'm going to give you a word, and you've got to design me a new competitive reality format based around that word. Okay?
Go on, let's have it.
It can go on any channel you want. You have to give me on a scale of 1 to 5 what channel it will go out on.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So, first person, I am going to ask Wilf.
Yep.
You have to design a reality show around tape. Go.
My reality show would be How Quick Can You Escape? And it would be for £10,000. It'd be one episode. Every episode be a different person, and they get tied up in tape, and they have to answer questions.
It's a game show?
And it's hosted by Catherine Tape.
No. And they have to rip themselves out the tape, and they have to try and escape this room. Like, they're all in tape. There's loads of them. They're all in tape.
Yeah.
They have to escape a room, and it's an escape room, and it's one episode. It's like Crystal Maze.
And on a scale of channel 1 to 5?
Oh, that's 5.
That's
very
so
5.
Oh, wait. 5-star.
Oh, crap. Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's going on Dave.
I'm sorry for the loss of your format. Ryan, you have to design a competitive reality show around dice.
Oh, around dice. Okay, a very simple concept. You live in a penthouse, and there are people at the top, they're called rulers, and there's people at the bottom, they're called grafters. And every morning, there's a work shift, and they roll the dice to decide who does what. And I'm going to call it something that's never been used, like Rise and Fall. There you go.
Dyson Fall?
Dyson Fall.
Wait, I've got one. I've got it. So what they do is they put people in a big building. You have rulers at the top, you have grafters at the bottom, and then production just have loads of random stuff on a wall, roll dice, and they're like, yeah, that's what we're going with.
That's how they pick the twist on Rise and Fall. That's how they design the final.
We're going to get the grafters to vote on the... It doesn't even make sense. Just do it.
Okay, Ivan, let's give you a word. Ivan, I want to give you tissues.
Interesting. Okay, so it is going to be about trying to create a bridge, right? And all you get is soft materials like tissues and like cooked pasta, and you've got to bridge over a large area or fall to your doom. And basically, it's all about like constructing like amazing feats of engineering out of poor material.
I was going to say on a scale of 1 to 5, but I've got to say on a scale of 1 to Dave, really. Where is this going?
It's very Taskmaster, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, look, on that note, we have concluded a review of Rise and Fall and offered development producers 3 new formats. Contact us for royalties. But that's all review. We'll be back next week, and in the meantime, if you're listening, give us a 5-star review or follow us on your favorite podcast platform. If you're watching, like and subscribe. And if you want to see the beautiful, lovely men who hide behind these voices, follow us on social media at itsjustagame.podcast on TikTok and Instagram. Until next week, I am Rayan Rashidi. You can follow me on Instagram at The Gram of Rayan.
I'm Will. You can follow me on Wilfred Webster Official on Instagram or just Wilfred Webster on TikTok.
I'm Ivan Brett. You can subscribe to my secretions by buying small vessels of various different bodily fluids by just going to ivanbrettsweat.com.
Ivan Brett Sweat.
Right, and on that note, we will be back. Well, at least Wilf and I will be back next week. Ivan will be in jail at that point. But we will see you next week, and goodbye.
Bye, boy.
Bye, driver.